and prayerfully you all can hear. I will turn my mic up as loud as I can so you all can hear her today. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of On the Block. I am so super excited about being here with you all today. I met this lady a couple of months ago, but her reputation preceded her. When I finally got to meet her in person, I had heard so many wonderful things about her. So many times I talk about going beyond Bitcoin, and that means the actual blockchain, because blockchain can exist without Bitcoin, but Bitcoin cannot exist without the blockchain. And because the blockchain is so important, it's really, it's really something that we need to talk about a lot more. So we formed this actual event called On the Block, so people can really get an understanding of how blockchain is expanding, how the different industries fit in, and really just so people can find out how really diversified this thing is. And I just cannot wait for you to hear from our guest today. This lady's name, this queen, her name is Rayshoun Chambers. For those of you that are on Clubhouse, you can see her picture and her bio. I ask that you follow her on Clubhouse. And for those of you that are following us on our YouTube channel, which is Crypto Blockchain Plug, please, we'll learn how to follow her on social media in a minute. But hello, Rayshoun, welcome.
Hey, how you
How are
doing,
you?
Najah? I'm
I'm doing.
excited and delighted. I hope everybody's also doing as well.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, you are a powerhouse.
Come on.
You are a powerhouse in the space. Oh, absolutely. So
Thank you.
I gotta make sure that they know who they're actually talking to, because this sister is paving the way for a lot of us in a lot of different ways. So let's talk about this thing. So you are, and can you just tell us who you are
Okay.
and how long you've been in this space, and a little bit about your family structure as well?
Oh, sure. Oh, this ought to be fun. So once again, hi everybody. I am Rayshaun Chambers, and I have the pleasure and the blessing to serve as the CEO and co-founder of the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce. Blockchain Chamber of Commerce, guys, is home to individual professionals, educators, small business owners, um, uh, corporate enterprise organizations. We are home from the cradle to the grave, people that are um, focused on blockchain technology from an everyday usage perspective, impact of life, and learning, right? Because on either end of the spectrum, we're always having to either provide knowledge or receive it, right? So that's one of the, I guess, the my proud moments of being in the role that I have here at the chamber. I guess I can kind of go back and maybe kind of tell you a little bit about just myself, right? So how does someone that's born in Southeast DC move to Atlanta, Georgia, spend her time in the Peach State, never get, by the way, Georgia, adopted as an honorary Peach. I guess I never really got the accent, so they really, you know what I mean. So the jury is still out on that, but spent many years in corporate America in um, in the great state of Georgia in electronic payment processing. So my background stemmed from a passion that I had about financial movement and how money moves, and I've always had this kind of deep seated curiosity about that. So honestly, when I got started in electronic payment processing, to be more specific, POS, point of sale systems, you guys, where you go into the store, you swipe your credit card through. Some, bars and restaurants have these touch screens and all that fun stuff. Well, it wasn't like that when I got in there. When I got started, it was the old school knuckle buster where you have like 4-ply sheets and you're running your fingers back and forth over a card and whatnot to get the imprint of a credit card. And that's how I got started with my desire to learn more about money and how do you swipe a card and then within seconds you know whether or not this money is here or not. And I was in that industry for over 25 years.
Okay, okay. And I know how busy you are because I know all the things that you do besides the chamber.
Hmm.
You are a mother.
I am.
I love her.
My smile got big. Yes, I am. I'm a
And
mom.
I just saw her beautiful son. And how do you do this work-life balance with so many things that you have going on?
I tell everybody it's an integration. The moment you start trying to balance is when you have a greater opportunity to tip the scale. I think that if we approach everything that we're doing and we start holding accountable not just ourselves, but the people with whom we do business and so forth, that we are a package deal.
Mhm.
So as a mom, I come in like, you know what I mean? Like with all of that, I don't, subscribe to the philosophy of, well, when I come in this door, I leave mom behind or I leave my faith behind and I'm coming in, I come in with everything that I am, everything that I have had an opportunity to participate in, to be a part of, even being a mom, when I was homeschooling, just all of these different things, right? They come with me and they make up how I think. They diversify how I interact and how my mind is set up. So I think it's an integration, and oftentimes, particularly as entrepreneurs, we struggle with that, is feeling like we may not be accepted if we come in and we're not viewed as this specific 100% elite you know boss,
Yeah.
right? My thing is, you boss regardless, and it doesn't it shouldn't so much matter whether or not you're a boss with a babe that runs cross country, right?
Right, right.
And his schedule and mine.
Well, you know what? I think that's the tweet of the day. You get a package deal.
That's right.
When you deal with women that have children, you got a package deal. On
Absolutely.
that is incredible. And that is so true, so true, so true.
You know what, Naja? While we're on that point too, I remember when I was working at one of the payment processing companies, and there's this guy, and he's from the UK, and he's one of the business line leaders and whatnot. And he said, he said to me one time, he said, Rayshawn, I could recruit talent, from outside the organization. I could, go here, whatever. He said, but I want to talk to you and speak to you specifically because you're a single mom. And I was like, I need a little bit more clarification on where you're going with that. And, he told me, he said, well, it's been my experience. And this could be because he's from another country coming here in the US and whatnot. But he just said, it's just been my experience that when you're in the scenario, you're going to lead with your gut. Like you're going to go in and you're not going to be thinking about anything other than what it is you need to get done. And I guess that's how I kind of developed my concept of going in and being who I am to be a closer. Because honestly, I don't have, all that free time to fluff and build and
Yeah.
I've got to cut to the chase. I want to get to done, right? And that's what our community needs from us. There's a lot of people talking everywhere. We've got to get to done. Okay, so we've discussed it. Now, how do we do it? That's what I'm about.
Oh man, I need to be tweeting all over the place. Let's get it done. If
That's
y'all
right.
didn't catch that, that was the tweet of the hour. Let's get to done.
That's
Because
right.
matter of fact, Ray Sean, we need to be having that button that we push on most of these meetings we're on all day.
That's
Let's
right.
get to done because people are talking and a lot of people are not moving, but we want to be moving to done.
That's
So
right.
that is really, really awesome. So we heard about your background. You were in payment processing, and you just were really fascinated with how money is moving and working and those sorts of things. So, who introduced you to the blockchain specifically, and and the new money that was on the blockchain with that?
Oh, this is good. So, there was a colleague of mine that was leaving corporate, and I remember having this conversation with him, like, "Oh man, you leaving?" The whole thing you normally do when somebody's leaving a company that you've grown fond of professionally because they used to be the ones that get the work done. You're like,
Yes.
"Oh man, so who gonna do it now? You leaving?" kind of thing. So we were having one of those water cooler conversations, the infamous water cooler, and he told me that he was going to start a Bitcoin company.
Really?
And I said, "Yeah, well, who?" And he's like, "Yeah, this is in 2013." And so I was unfamiliar. I hadn't heard of Bitcoin before, but I knew of his work ethic. I knew the kind of guy that he was. And so if he was going on to start a business and do something, I just wanted to be supportive of him. So I just kind of would go to these meetings, and folks would be coming in and they're talking about, oh, it's Bitcoin and brews, come on through, and this kind of thing. And I bring 3, 4 people with me, and none of them got it either. And so when I first heard about crypto, I didn't get it. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. I just kept listening, and say it again, say it again. But the part that kept giving me pause was that I needed to better understand, how did it move from this person to this person? What what technology is that? And
Mm,
that one question for me was a game changer, was just simply asking, well, what technology is causing this to move? And when they said blockchain, I started looking deeper. And so for me, asking questions and finding out how else can this be used, what else can you do with blockchain technology, was probably around 2015 really well for me, as far as having deeper conversations, because as you can imagine, people were still kind of talking about Bitcoin, but it was a more of a behind the curtains type thing. It wasn't as openly discussed as it is right now. It was
right,
more when you had to have a network of people who told you about it. You had to be invited, and it was all that type of stuff. Whereas now, of course, it's the market's flooded with conversation, whether it's good press or bad press,
right.
about it. So that's how I initially kind of got my interest sparked around blockchain. And so I had moved to North Carolina, and while here I still keep all my my roots across in different places. And there was an event happening in Atlanta, and that's how. And let me just pause and say this to everyone: when you have an opportunity to be somewhere, particularly business owners, show up,
Hmm.
be
Hmm.
too often we give ourselves a reason not to go. Sometimes it's maybe a friend or somebody that has their own viewpoint, and you kind of adopt it because it's the easy out, and you were kind of tired, so you
Hmm.
didn't go.
Hmm.
I just want to encourage you to go, show up. It's one of the best things you can do, and that was life changing for me. I went to an event. It was in a church. I met some great people, still great connections, even now, still today.
Were you tired and you were not going to go? Is that why you're telling us that?
I'm telling you, I lived in North Carolina. I was dealing with a mom who had several, a few different bouts with cancer.
Hmm.
That's what moved me from Georgia to North Carolina. When I left corporate America, a lot of folks have these great, sexy stories that they like to tell. Listen, when I left corporate America, at the end of the day, for me, it was a phone call from my mom. And the phone call was pretty straightforward. She's like, I'm going to the doctors. They hadn't figured out what's going on, but there was a lot of questions. And at that point, I was looking at a soon to be 3-year-old kid, and I had to put my life in perspective. And I remember one real life lesson for me was that the gift, right? Some people think, well, how you walk away from this 6-figure job and this, that, and the other? And I said, with both feet, the same feet I was blessed to walk in the door with. That's how you walk out,
Hmm.
right? Because the gift that God gives you will make room for you wherever you go. So I
Yeah.
had to trust that uproot and go. So I left Georgia and came to Atlanta, left Atlanta rather, and came to North Carolina. And so those first couple years, y'all, it was wonky. It was a little up and down. It was rocky. You're dealing with family matters, right? And
Right.
families matter. And so when you take that pause for perspective, don't ever, ever feel like, hey, I'm taking this pause, and now I'm going to miss my opportunity for success. So I'm going to miss that window, because what's for you is really for you.
Yes.
And so that's what happened for me. I took the necessary break from corporate. I took the downtime that I needed to take to be with family. And then as I started saying, you know what, I need to, I knew about Bitcoin, I knew about these different things, but I wanted to get back into the force, if you will, like as in workforce.
Uh-huh.
And so to do that, I dug my heels into blockchain. And that's why I'm saying, go in spite of, because I had a lot of things on me, but I still went to Atlanta to this event.
Hmm.
And I got I got there, and I met some great people. Listen, Guap, shout out to Guap Coin. I met Taronia at that event. I
Yes.
met Lamar Wilson at that event.
Wow.
Leif Taylor. This was the groundwork. I met them in person. I had already made these connections with them online through social, right? And we
Hmm.
had this great community, and everybody knows about the community, right? So we all had these great ways of energizing each other and teaching each other about crypto and so forth. But I went on to
Yes.
Georgia, and I met a gentleman named Abe. He's an Asian guy,
Uh-huh.
And I listened to him and I said, oh, what is this guy getting ready to say? I remember because he really set out. He even made light of the fact that he kind of just sat out in this room full of beautiful black and brown people. And here comes, Abe, this Asian guy. He was like, yeah, well, my wife's black. So we all just kind of fell out laughing because he pretty much knew everyone was looking at him like, where did this guy come from? And I think that he gave the best talk, and he just made his conversation was so inclusive. And the first thing I asked him, y'all, when I stood up and I said to him, I said, so you're representing the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce? He said, yes. And I said, okay, well, I'm currently in North Carolina and I want to know how I can get involved.
Hmm.
That's it. And from that moment, I stuck with it. I met the people. I became part of course, our leadership team. Um, a lot of things were happening at that time. But I say what I say to package it this way is that you just absolutely never know what can happen, what from a small seed, what it can actually grow into. I became a volunteer. From
Okay.
my volunteer work and my dedication, I moved on to become the chapter president, right? And and sometimes in business you have to do that. You have to pause and think: Are we going down the path we want to go? Are there some things we want to do differently? Where are Let's assess: Are we having successes where we need to? And as the chamber was going through that process, it was
Hmm.
then determined that we needed to take another path. We needed to become intentional, but how do we want to now serve the community? And it was at that point that I was appointed CEO in January of this year.
Well, congratulations to you, sister,
Yeah,
Miss
thank you.
CEO. That is absolutely incredible. Yeah, and I know your journey has been one that you've really worked to earn that. You just weren't given that. You
No.
definitely had to earn that. And as we know, sometimes as women and then women of color, we have to go a little bit extra, do a little bit more to do the things that we need to do. But how has this entrepreneurial life been for you since you're not at corporate America anymore? But you are, the CEO now of the Chamber of Commerce. How
Mhm.
is this? What would have been your highs and your lows?
Here's it, right? Now I say this from the heart. There are always going to be those who celebrate you, and there are going to be some that tolerate you. And I
Mm,
think that we've got to be very, very open with ourselves to acknowledge when we're being celebrated versus tolerated.
okay.
And when that's your reality, then you own the change, right? So we don't have to be a victim, and you own the change. So for me, that was part of it because let's be real, even though I was working in corporate and I had worked my way up quite successful, a couple parking spaces, everything, name on the plate, Vanguard. I mean, I told you I'm a closer now. So there was all of that. So my sales team, shout out to everybody, they did a great job, and but none of those successes would have been possible without the faith that I have and the commitment that I have to my faith first and foremost. Because you guys, it was tough. I'm not going to try and paint this smooth sailing ride and whatnot. I had an opportunity to become a co-author in a couple of anthologies. And I spoke about my process. One of them was the bounce back, and I talked about what it was like to be um, 7 months pregnant and be told that, hey, there's a job that we need you to do at this company. And if you don't take that job, a week from today will be your last day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking now I know what I like to do and what I would have preferred to be doing. But when you're in that type of position, what more can you do? So there were things that drove me to say, you know what, entrepreneurship is for me. And
Right.
it didn't have to be easy. It's for
Right.
me,
Yeah.
right? There's that. So there were highs. The highs are always when you know that you're walking in your purpose. Know that you've been called to do what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and so each day you celebrate, and I'm talking about celebrate, y'all. Celebrate even when you get an email back from somebody you waited to get an email from. Celebrate with look when you can pay for something to eat and you can maybe even go out to eat and not have to worry about your utility bill. When you're an entrepreneur, you have to celebrate some of the smaller successes to the larger successes where I had signed this $5,000, referral, not $5,000, but 5,000 member association when I
Yeah.
was consulting, and I was just like, oh, bless the Lord. There are highs and there are lows, but I think the big thing is, you know, the relationships that you have around you. Be cognizant of the fact that there are going to be some people that as you go higher, they cannot come with you.
Mm.
And I heard somebody say it like, think about a rocket ship and how when that rocket launches, right, the boosters fall off. But
Mm.
it's necessary for that rocket in order to begin its process up. The boosters had to be on there, but then the boosters fall off. The
Wow.
rocket still continues. And so be confident, comfortable, and unapologetic
Mm.
about that process for you. And it's okay. It really is.
Man, y'all, I'm feeling like I'm on Rayshawn's couch right now, getting some counseling. But you know what? That is what a chamber CEO and president should be telling or being able to share with business owners. And so, Crypto Blockchain Plug is absolutely a member of the chamber. We're excited about that. I celebrate that.
As
Um,
are we.
this is who we take counsel in. When you join a chamber of commerce and you're in a cryptocurrency and or a blockchain type business, you need somebody to give you those words of encouragement. You need those individuals around you that can support you and get you to the next level. And I'm going to say this because I talked to a brother the other day, and y'all know I always keep it 100. He and I were talking. He happens to be Mr. Sinclair Skinner. And he was just about 2 days away from the Black Blockchain Summit. And he said, it's hard out here. And I thought to myself, and I thought to myself first, should I? And I was just feeling like, thank you, God, that somebody else is feeling the strain that I feel. Because I was feeling like it's just me pushing forward and having to go through all these obstacles and tests.
Mm-mm.
And I just really appreciate you and the enthusiasm you bring, the knowledge you bring. And again, for those of you that are new on Clubhouse or just chimed in, we are talking to CEO and President Rayshoun Chambers of the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, her last name is Chambers, and she is over the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce. And
Unintentional.
so I know unintentional. So, and she worked her way up there. So,
Right.
with that being said, Rayshoun Chambers of the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce, what is the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce? What do you all do? What is the purpose? Help us out.
Okay, so the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce, we are, I guess the easiest way for me to put it is that we're home, right? We are home to professionals, to educators, to small companies, to enterprise organizations. So we actually serve the greater community that is blockchain to make certain that we are bringing together strategically alliances within this ecosystem that
Mhm.
are bringing down the walls of big company jargon and all of these smart buzzwords that's floating all over the world. And at the end of the day, people are still not understanding what this is and how it makes a difference to me. And so, one of the things that, I make certain that we do and the team we work so well at is we elevate, right? So if you're a member, let's just go back to the basics really quickly. If you're a member, guys, of a chamber of commerce, and some of you guys may already be members of chambers of commerces in your area and so forth, the Chamber of Commerce exists specifically from a business perspective where your businesses, they join and then you help their business grow. So if you are a business and you join a chamber, then the chamber should understand what the vision is of your company. They should be able to help get you in front of the right people that will help grow and expand your business model. Provide you some guidance, right? Because a lot of times people are great at what they're great at, but they don't know all aspects
Mm.
of how their business can sustain. So that's what we do. One of the things about the Chamber of Commerce for us is that I'm protective over like our membership. I don't go and broadcast. We have this many members, and why? People ask me sometimes, well, why not? So because I'm not looking for you, I'm not looking to sell my members to you guys. I don't look to partner with people who just want to market to my membership base. That's
Mm.
not what we are here for. But oftentimes, as you see, you may join various organizations that ultimately is what it becomes, is this big network of people that are just being sold to. And that's not what we want to do here. What I'm looking to do and what the team that we have, put together is focused on doing is making sure that we have the credible elite within this space that are educating our people in this space. There's a lot of noise right now around crypto. You all can relate to this. I've had relatives that have lost money for different things going on with crypto. So, organizations like yours, Najah, that help provide truth and education. This is why we're proud to say that Crypto Blockchain Plug is a member of Blockchain Chamber of Commerce, because that's the type of integrity that we operate within, right? And so that's what we look to and we monitor to, with our members. So there's a great deal of things that I know as a leader here that we focus on, and we're global. So I don't know if a lot of people know that about the chamber, but we are a global organization. So when we first began, we were a for benefit organization. We had a different mission and vision in mind, but we always stuck to the fact that we needed to raise awareness. We wanted to inspire advocacy in this space, and we wanted to facilitate adoption of the technology. And those three things have never changed as it relates to Blockchain Chamber of Commerce. So what has changed? What has been implemented since I came on, right? Well, my vision has been that we became a nonprofit, as were the vision of the previous board. We needed to become a nonprofit organization, but not just from a 501c3 perspective, but a 501c6 perspective, where we have an opportunity to educate policymakers on
Mm,
what we need. So the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce, along with some of our other strategic alliance partners, we serve as a guide to our lawmakers and our policymakers about what's needed, what's actually going on in this space, and the faces that represent some of these decisions that they're making, right? Because lawmakers are people too. And at
right.
the end of the day, if they don't have a qualified, verifiable source to provide them information, to give them guidance, to come to Capitol Hill, testify on Capitol Hill, to write letters to these policymakers, if they don't have a reputable source for that, then we can expect to keep being on the tail end of some of these decisions and House bills that are moving through. So, Blockchain Chamber of Commerce also functions in that capacity as well. So, we're from the neighborhood to Capitol Hill.
That is really, really awesome. And that's what really touched me about after I actually met you in person and we were talking about the chamber.
Mhm.
I just have to be honest with you all. We were coming out of COVID. Uh,
Yep.
we're not out of COVID, but we were coming out of the house in COVID. And I was at this summit that I was speaking, and I met the sister and I was talking to the sister, and we were really struggling financially. One of the things that I have to always be honest is that, my employees come first. And just making sure that they're able to feed their families, I feel like that is my responsibility. And coming back from that summit and meeting you and hearing about the chamber, I was just like, I have to become a member. I don't know where I'm going to get the money from, because, again, our doors had just opened. The mayor of Los Angeles had just said, we were free to open as long as people had their protective personal gear on. And we just didn't have it. And I said to myself, you can't afford to be a member of the chamber, because it's not cheap. It's not, and it's reasonable for folks making money, right?
Yeah.
You can't afford to pay to be a member of the chamber, but based on what you've seen and know from this sister, you can't afford not to be associated with this chamber of commerce. So I dug and I figured it out, and I got that money over there, and I was celebrating that email where I could say, I just went on and we just became members of the chamber, and just really excited about the possibilities. And I know with COVID and how it's stagnated a lot of our growth, our traffic is almost zero. And really I thank God, because we don't want people coming in all day that have COVID, because then everybody gets sick,
Right.
those types of things. And so, for whatever reason, we're working it out. But how has COVID affected actual Chamber of Commerce's? Because you're used to having events every month where you get together and everybody's in the same place and everybody is networking. So how has that affected the chamber?
Oh, the truth you tell, the truth you tell. These events, that was really, that can be the core, right? Just, that's what you're used to doing is you have these in persons and, you're so excited about being able to offer them. So that was definitely a paradigm shift for us. But I'm excited that we've actually gotten to the place now where we have our calendar that is currently being finalized so that we can now start to put out, different events. Our events now, of course, will need to still be virtual. You guys know that we're kind of this is like the new reality, right? Now, many more things are going to be virtual than they have in the past. But I think that what we've been able to do and how we've been, able to address it is, how you have to make these, you have to make lemonade. And
Mhm.
so, as part of our process, the alliances that we've been building, if I can just kind of step back into education real quick, what happened is that, teaching had to get different. And when teaching got different, homes got different. And so people start saying, well, look, I can't come out anyway. So if you could send a link or if you could do, kind of let us know if there's another way we can get plugged in. And it worked for us. We
Mm.
had an outstanding event, industry jobs and blockchain with Paris Blockchain Week Summit. And that because that was supposed to be an in-person event. I'll never forget, we were supposed to be in Paris, hosting this dinner, sponsoring this keynote, and it just didn't work out that way. And you had to figure out after you invest all this money, how do you flip that and do something else with it? And so, you renegotiate your terms and you figure out how to go virtual with it. And it just opened up additional doors and it started putting us in different places where we can get more personable with these micro meetings and micro sessions. So
Yes.
I'm excited about what we're going to be doing now with our events because coming from the environment from which I come, I don't subscribe to a lot of sit and get, right? So a lot of our events are going to be workshops. They will be hands-on. Folks will be actively learning and applying things as they're going through these sessions, and so for us, we think that that's definitely going to be something that sets us apart in terms of the events that we're going to be featuring at the chamber.
Okay. So somebody may say that this sounds awesome and I don't have a business yet, but I am seeking to be in the blockchain and the Bitcoin space or whatever that may be. Can they join the chamber as an individual?
Absolutely, absolutely, Najah. We have individual members. We have a lot of individual members, attorneys, curious people, right? Enthusiasts. We have a lot of individual members that have joined the chamber, and sometimes they have connected with other companies or groups that are across the country that are doing great things in other countries and in their backyard. So it's been a great opportunity for individuals definitely to join the chamber, whether they're young. So just to be clear, the Chamber of Commerce, we have K-12 members as well. So if we have any young 16, 17, year olds that might be listening, they join the Chamber of Commerce free of charge. Our educators join and they pay a flat rate. I believe that may be $20 and for the year, so no more than they would pay to join the PTA. Look, we want to make this accessible. Lack of access is an issue, and
Yeah.
the chamber is very sensitive to that, right? The other options, of course, are to subscribe. Before we didn't have subscriptions, so it was a flat $199 for the year. That was a stretch for some people. So we actually made sure that if they wanted to do it on a monthly basis, they could, subscribe, and that
Yes.
subscription breaks down to about maybe 16.52. And now this is on YouTube, so I'm not sure when they will be viewing this. So currently, those prices are subject to change depending upon when they see the YouTube video. But for your viewers, for your listeners, Najah, the Chamber of Commerce is going to send you a code, and that code you will be able to make available to your community, and they will be able to join the chamber and subscribe for something probably around $5 and some change a month.
Wow, that is incredible. I just want to say thank you for that because that
Yeah.
is critically important. I was actually going to repeat for those who are thinking, maybe I didn't hear that right. Yes, if you have children ages kindergarten through 12th grade, they can
Mhm.
join the chamber free of charge. If you are an educator, she has an additional discount for those educators. But if you're just a regular individual in person that needs to join to be a part of a collective,
Mhm.
this is a incredible, it's an incredible offer. It's an incredible time. This is an incredible organization. And I'm not just saying that because we're doing this Zoom. Like, I really did a little bit of research, and I say a little bit because I don't have a lot of time to be playing. I want it
That's
done,
right.
done, and done. So I had to find the right places to really make sure that our business was aligned with those people that are not playing in this space. Like, we don't
Mhm.
have time. And so this is an organization that is true to that. And so I wanted to, there was a couple of people that raised their hand. But before we start answering questions, if you could please tell us how we can find the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce. If they just want to go, well, you all need to wait on the code. That's what you do need to do, is wait on
Yes.
the code so that you can get that code. I'm looking in my back channel. A couple people have asked a couple questions.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do, the way we're going to do that is, I think the most efficient way for us to do it from the chamber, as you know, of course, Najah, your organization is a chamber member, is we'll supply the information directly to you, and then the channels that you provide, that might be through a newsletter. I'm not sure how your team may want to roll it out, but we'll supply it to you, and then we'll know that, of course, they came directly from you from that link.
Well, you know what? We are actually launching our first community on this Friday, which is October 1st. And I'm going to put that code inside of there for any
Perfect.
member that wants to join the Chamber of Commerce. Man, that's an incredible deal. So we will definitely put that code in there. We have something where we'll store your information there so everybody can have access to it. And everybody, please look to sign up to get involved. You need other people around you supporting you, introducing you to the right people, allowing you and helping you to get involved with either growing your business, growing your brand. Maybe it's just that you want to be a speaker at some of these events, or you want to attend some of these events. There are great sets of information that Rayshoun puts out, and you can always and the chamber puts out, so that you can always stay abreast of the changes. As you heard, she is active in dealing with lawmakers, which is critically important. So a lot of people get on these feeds and they have a lot of stuff to say, but just talking out into the atmosphere does not change things.
Facts.
Dealing with our lawmakers and those
Mhm.
individuals that set these things up is important. And so I have to get with Rayshoun about some things. I just got off about 2 weeks ago with Maxine Waters' whole entire crew. They put so many
Nice.
attorneys on the phone. I felt like, Lord have mercy on
Right.
the but they were talking about consumer protection.
Okay.
And so, I wish I probably should have called you before I even got on there so I know exactly, some of the initiatives and things that you have going as well to be in alignment. And that's what, and I missed the mark on that. But now listening to you today and really understanding some more
Mhm.
things about the chamber I joined,
Oh, yes.
we need to put these things into practice. And so I will be reaching out to you because they're all for consumer protection, and I get it, but they're also, how they plan on protecting us, they're boxing us out of opportunity. So we really need to understand that. And so
And you
um
have a question in it.
yes, yes, yes.
And we have Voices of Blockchain.
Mhm.
Voices of Blockchain is a brand and a signature from the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce. So, individuals, if you're out there thinking, like, Najah was saying, well, I don't have a business, I'm not really sure if it's for me. If you want to know, be on the front end of what's happening in blockchain, you also want to be a part of shaping the conversation. Voices of Blockchain, being a participant in the chamber, these are the ways that those types of communications get heard, right? I think, like social media rants are fine. Soapbox and all that's fine. But at the end of the day, we need to move the needle.
Yeah,
And we have to be very clear about who has a seat at which tables, who are being listened to, whose communication is being taken sincerely and seriously, so that we can actually do things like change our voting laws so we can make certain that our voting rights are protected, so we can ensure that our scholars and our kids that are coming up are not just consuming the technology, but they are creators and owners of the vision and mission that they have within them. A lot of times
Yes.
we overcomplicate things, but we seek to put the power back into the people who will really be leading this country. And as much as I like to think young, it won't be me.
Yes.
It won't be me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It'll be me because I just turned 18 last
You
week.
just turn 18, you
So
better work. You
so
better work.
yes. Yes. So I have about 60 years ahead of me. But
Yes, ma'am.
so yes, but we really appreciate you. And I don't know, I know that some of our staff is watching the chat. If there's any questions, well, how do folks find you just in general so they
We
can
are
go
on
and research?
social. Yeah. So we're on social. We are on Twitter as blockchain COC as in Chamber of Commerce. So we are at blockchain COC on
Mhm.
all social media platforms, Facebook, on Twitter, as well as Instagram. So we will begin to do a lot more marketing in those areas. So you guys will see more of our presence in those spaces. I invite you to go ahead and follow us now so that you don't miss out on all of the good stuff that we have, of course, coming your way. And I do mean literally, y'all. When I say good stuff, I don't just mean like a lot of posts to flood your timeline. I'm talking about things that are actionable, things that matter. Also, let me not, I'll be, remiss if I didn't mention that, come Q1, going into Q2, we're looking to establish our Dominican Republic chapter
Hey,
of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm really excited about that initiative that is on its way. And there are also some other things that we are doing in district schools that we will be able to announce really soon. And I'm happy to share that on this platform specifically because you all already know the work that Najah and her team are doing. You guys already know about the Crypto Kids Camp. You know about all these different things. And that's what a chamber should be doing is when they know what their members are doing, they know the areas in which their members play, then when the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce is at the table, they bring those members with them, right? So you are always representing your membership base. And so I'm excited to let you guys know we have some interesting things coming that will impact crypto blockchain plug as well.
well, thank you, thank you,
I'm
thank
trying
you.
to read what
And
that
again,
says.
for those of you that are on Clubhouse, please follow Rayshoun Chambers. She is the CEO and president of the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce. She can be found at Blockchain COC so that you can find out what's coming up here in 2021. If you're interested in growing in the cryptocurrency and the blockchain space, this is the chamber that you should be joining because she has so many things that are coming up and her heart is in this. This ain't about just getting the dollars. This is about educating the community and helping you push your brand, helping you push your community forward. And again, the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce is someplace that you need to be. And if there's no, I don't see any hands on Clubhouse, so we must be doing a great job with you must be doing a great job in explaining your platform. And we are nearing that time to just open up the floor for anyone that has any questions. If you do, please feel free to raise your hand. If not, I would like to ask Miss Rayshaun if she could give us some closing words for the day because she has a lot of words of wisdom, which we've heard. And I'm going to go back and listen because I got about 4 tweets I need to attribute to this sister today.
You know what? Stay in the community. I think that stay connected is the biggest thing I would say that we need to do. And I just want to thank you guys for just listening today. I'm looking forward to an opportunity to come revisit you, where I will have an opportunity to share with you some specifics when we start talking about blockchain technology. I want us to be able to have some direct communication around what does that look like for our future of education of our schools. How does that impact? What does it look like in real estate? What does it look like in NFTs have been spoken about so often. What's the true impact of all of that? So being able to get in a bit more of the guts and glory as well. So I thank you, Najah, for an opportunity for us to peel back the Iron Curtain and allow people to see a little bit more behind the scenes of the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce. And I invite you guys to just really get directly plugged in so that you can be a part of the community and driving the shape, right, of the future that we have and we hold so dear. Let's not be a passenger, right, when we have opportunities to drive. Some of us elect to ride along, and many of us have been called to drive. This is our time.
Yes.
This is our time. So I think we should absolutely be unapologetic about moving forward and excitement and diligence and getting it done together. Some people say you can't do all things. I say you absolutely can. You just can't do it by yourself.
Yes, ma'am. And collaboration is the new business model. So
That's
we
right.
need to get on that and really understand that. And Miss Rayshoun Chambers with the I was gonna say black, with the blockchain chamber of commerce.
Freudian slip.
Freudian slip, with the blockchain chamber of commerce, because we are on the Black Bitcoin billionaire platform.
That's right.
All these bees going on right now, but we appreciate you and everything that you bring. And for those that are listening, please stay tuned for that code to join the chamber. I will have that up again. Thank you, Rayshoun. You
Thank
all,
you.
thank you for listening. We're going to end the room on Clubhouse, and to each and every one of you, again, we appreciate your time, your energy, and you listening in. Peace and blessings to the family, and we will be talking to you all soon. God bless. All right, so we are finishing up. We're I can't end the live, so maybe our team will, but we're still